All right. Well, hi there again, everybody. Welcome back to the Baseball Replay Journal, and we have another 1949 game for you today with Diamond Mine Baseball. It is the New York Giants of the Philadelphia Phillies. Giants come into this game in second place, 6-1. We're going to be taking control of the Phillies, who are 3-6 and not pitching so well, or not playing so well. Sid Gordon comes up, 1-0 is the count on him, and 1-1 now as Ken Heinzelman takes him on. And there is a quick line drive over there to Miller at second base. And he calmly collects it and throws over to Dick Sisler first for the first out. Here's Willard Marshall, and he lines that one over to Granny Hamner at short, who makes the catch. And there's two away. Here comes Bobby Thompson now. And that one is low. 1-0 is now the count. Thompson with one home run this year, hitting 200. 1-1 now the count on him. And that one's outside, 2-1 now to Bobby. And he fouls that one off into Semnick's mitt, 2-2. And that one's fouled off again, 2-2. And there's a long fly ball over to Richie Ashburn in center field, and he makes the catch. And that's it for the top of the first inning. Here come the Phillies, and it's Del Ennis starting it off, and he takes the ball. There's a strike to him now, 1-1 the count on Ennis. And he grounds that one over to Kerr at shortstop, and it goes right through his legs for an error. And Ennis is aboard with the first batter of the game for the Phillies, and that brings up Andy Semnick. Semnick takes a strike and swings and misses at that 1-0-2 now the count, and a swing and a miss here by the third pitch to him from Larry Jansen. He strikes out on it. Up comes Dick Sisler now. One man on, and one out here in the bottom of the first inning. 0-0 the score. 1-1 now the count on Dick Sisler. Sisler kind of having a quiet year so far. 2-1 now the count on him. Hitting 270, a little bit of power, not too much though. He flies one, pops it up really over to Thompson in center field, and that is the second out. Bill Nicholson now, and there is a line drive to the shortstop, and that does it. And on we go to the top of the second inning. Whitey Lockman starts it off here for New York. 1-1 now the count on Lockman. There's one low, 2-1 now the count. And 3-1 as Ken Heinzelman is falling behind on him. And there's a little flare over there to Hamner at short. Del Ennis thought that he was going to get that, the left fielder, but Hamner has no problem going back to get that one. And there's a little ground ball to Hamner now from Johnny Mize, 2 away, just like that. Here's Jack Lork here, 2 outs here in the top of the second inning. And there's another ground ball over to Hamner, and he makes the play. And just like that, we're in the bottom of the second inning, no score. Hamner starts it off now, and he hits a little ground ball over to Kerr at short, and that is the first out. Eddie Miller now. And that first pitch is fouled off into the on-deck circle, and he fouls the second one off his foot. 0-2 now the count. And there's a towering fly ball over to the great Scott in center field, and there's 1-2 away now. Richie Ashburn up. 0-1 the count on him. Now it's 1-1 as he takes the ball. And he pops that one over again to Thompson in center field. On we go to the top of the third inning. Fast-moving game so far. Buddy Kerr is the first batter for the Giants. 1-1 now the count on Kerr. And there's a fastball on the outside corner, 1-2, and Kerr hasn't swung yet. And there is a little looper over into center field that lands right in front of Ricky Ashburn. That's Ashburn, and that is the first hit of the ball game. And Mickey Livingston is up here now with a runner on first base. 1-2 is the count on Livingston. Ground ball over in the middle, and Hamner grabs it, steps on the bag himself onto Sisler for the double play. And just like that, there are 2 outs here in the top of the third inning. And the next pitch is popped up to Dick Sisler, first base, and that does that. Bottom of the first inning now, or bottom of the third inning, rather. The Phillies coming up, 0-0 ball game. Willie Jones, the first hitter for the Phillies, third baseman, hitting 143 this season behind Jansen, 0-2. He hits a little fly ball over to Marshall in right field. That's the first out. Here comes Ken Heinzelman, and he takes the ball, and there's a strike. 1-1 now, the pitch to Heinzelman. 2-1 now as Heinzelman saw that ball in there. 2-2 now as Jansen gets a strike in there. Now it's ball 3, full count now on Heinzelman. And he grounds one fair by the bag on third and down the line and winds up at second base. How about that? Phillies with their first hit of the ball game, and it's the pitcher who gets it. Del Ennis now comes up with a runner on second base and 1 out. Ennis had, of course, that error, was aboard on an error in the top of the first inning. And he hits a little ground ball back to Jansen, who makes the play to Mize. And Jansen kind of bobbled that ball a little bit, but Heinzelman wasn't able to see it and capitalize on it. And there's 2 away now for Andy Semeniuk. And 2-0 now is the count on Andy. and there's a hard line drive into left center field. And Kerr almost got to that one, not quite. And Bobby Thompson's got the ball, and we'll see if Heinzelman goes to score. He does. We send him to score. Semenuk will hold it first, and Heinzelman slides in safely. The throw is high, and just like that, it's 1-0 Phillies. And I was about to tell you all about the hard time that the Phillies have had so far this season. I mean, it's been kind of a hard luck season for them, but they're not having too much hard luck right now. They're doing quite well here in the early going against the New York Giants with the score 1-0 in their favor. And I'm just grabbing a quick little screenshot here for you. Apologies for the sound of the tapping keys here. We are working on audio improvements, so stay tuned. And in the near future, you may see a much better and much more agreeable setup. Now, Dick Sisler comes in here, bottom of the third inning, 2 out, and Semenuk on first, takes a ball, drives that one down the left field line, and that's extra bases for Sisler. We send Semenuk home. He scores standing up. The throw is not in time, and Sisler stands on second base with a big old grin on his face as he has driven in the second run of this ball game for the Phillies. And I tell you, the way that Larry Jansen started off pitching this game, I thought that this was going to be one of those games where the Giants just completely dominate the opposition, and it turns out that the Phillies have been able to get 2 runs past them here in the bottom of the third inning. And it doesn't matter, I guess, how good you're pitching. You are still vulnerable. Bill Nicholson is up there now, takes a ball, and there's a strike. 1-1 now the count on Nicholson. That fastball outside, 2-1 now the count on him. A little ground ball over to Kerr at short, and that does it. We've had a lot of ground balls to the short so far today. 2-0 now Phillies as we go to the top of the fourth inning, and Sid Gordon hits a fly ball over to Del Ennis in left field, 1 away. Here comes Willard Marshall. 1-0 is the count on Marshall now. 1-1 now as that curveball got in there just nicely. 2-1 now. 2-1 the count on him. And 3-1 now as Heinzelman's starting to lose him. Let's see if they walk him. And boy, that ball is hit over to Ashburn's head in center field, hits the wall, then sort of hits him before he's able to corral it. And Marshall able to mosey on into second base with a double there. And boy, that's a pretty interesting mental image of the ball hit over Ashburn's head and then ricocheting off of, I'm guessing, his back or his head, or I'm not sure what. And Marshall there at second base, and here comes Bobby Thompson. As much fun as that was, this is a dangerous hitter in a dangerous position. 0-2 now. Heinzelman, that is, has the advantage. 1-2 now on Thompson. And Thompson looks at a ball, 2-2 now the count. There is a sharply hit grounder out to second base, and Thompson gets the infield hit. And I guess that's, if you have to let him get aboard, I guess that's the one thing that you want to have happen. But now you have 1 out and runners on first and third, and it's only a 2-0 lead for the Phillies. And up next is Whitey Lockman for the Giants. Lockman so far this season hitting .267. Not very much power, but that can all change in a hurry here, of course. And here comes Heinzelman. Phillies looking for the double play here. 1-0 the count now on Lockman. And there's a little ground ball towards short. We're going to go for the double play. We will let Marshall score. And unfortunately for us, Hamner, no play at second base, ends up going over to Sisler for the sure out at first, and that does that. Kind of hard to tell here from Diamond Mine's play-by-play whether there was a chance there for a double play or not. As originally written, I thought that there was, but it turns out that there wasn't. Had I known that there was no chance for a double play, I probably would have had him throw home instead of going to first base. But either way, it is what it is. 2-1 Phillies now. 2 outs here in the top of the fourth inning. Johnny Mize up with an 0-2 count on him. And 1-2 now as Heinzelman misses high with that one. The next one's wide 2-2, and there's another one outside, and it's a full count once again. And Mize gets a hold of one to right field. Back goes Nicholson, and he has no play on it at all. That is a 2-run home run from Johnny Mize. Gives the Giants the lead 3-2, just like that. And as soon as I said that I thought that the Phillies would look like they were playing well, as soon as I said that, they go ahead and give up 3 runs in the top of the fourth inning. And I tell you, this is sort of the way that the season has been so far for the Phillies. We're not going to see any whiz kids, I'm afraid, in this replay. Not the way that things have been going. Here's Jack Lorick, nobody on base now, 3-2 Giants. Lorick drives it to deep left field and just comes short of that as the left fielder Del Ennis is able to catch up with it, and that does it for the top of the fourth inning. 4-3 Giants as we go to the bottom of the fourth. And up comes Granny Hamner, looks at a ball, and another ball off the plate. There's a little bouncer over to Johnny Mize at first base. He does it himself, one away. Eddie Miller now the batter. And he hits one over to right center field, and Bobby Thompson is there for the putout. That is 2 away, and here comes Ricky Ashburn. And that one's high, ball 1. And Ashburn bounces one foul, and now it's 2-1. And that one's fouled straight back, 2-2 now. That one is high. It's a full count again. I think you've noticed there's been a lot of full counts, and he ends up just grounding that ball over to Johnny Mize at first base, who makes the play, and that does it for the fourth inning. It's 3-2 Giants now going to the top of the fifth. A lot of full counts here in Diamond Mine baseball as Kerr fouls one back, 0-1. Next one is hit over to Ricky Ashburn in center field for the first out. Lots and lots of these full counts here, and I'm not sure how historically accurate that is for 1949, but we'll take it. 1-1 now the count on Mickey Livingston. It's 2-1 now on Livingston. And that breaking ball is low, and 3-1 is the count on him. And Heinzelman in danger of walking him, but instead that one's fouled back, full count once again, and another ball fouled, and another one fouled. And there's a little ground ball over to Hamner at short. He makes the easy play. Here comes Larry Jansen, 2 outs now here in the top of the fifth inning. 0-2 now the count is on Jansen. 1-2 now as he takes one inside, and that one is high, 2-2. And that's hit to short again to Hamner, and he makes the play. How many ground balls have we had to shortstop? I'll let you keep track of that. We've had a lot here in this game. My goodness. Willie Jones here, bottom of the fifth inning, leading it off. 0-2 is the count on Jones. Not hitting very well so far. And he lines one over to Kerr at short, and that's the way it's been. Heinzelman now, who has one of the 3 hits that the Phillies have in the ballgame, hits one to Marshall in right field. Unfortunately, that's taken in, and there are 2 away just like that. And here's Del Ennis. 0-1 now the pitch on him, 1-1 now. And that one is low, 2-1. And there's a curveball high, 3-1 now, and we'll see if he walks, and he does. Jansen loses him low. And there's a runner on now for Andy Semenuk. 2 outs here in the bottom of the fifth inning. 3-2 Giants. Let's see what Andy can do. Andy already with an RBI in this game takes a ball 1-0. Jansen having some corner problems, but he's able to get that one in there for a strike. And that one's high and tight, ball 2, 2-1 now, the pitch. Semenuk lays off another one, 3-1. We're going to have him take this pitch. And Jansen, Larry able to get that one over for a strike. It's yet another full count. Semenuk checks his swing, just has an foul ball on that one. And guess what? Larry Jansen misses the play completely with that one. Ball 4, and here comes Dick Sisler with 2 on and 2 out here in the bottom of the fifth inning. Let's see if Sisler can do something for the Phillies. Sinker for a strike, 0-1. The ground ball to the left side, and that is another one hit to shortstop, and Kerr's got it and makes the play at first, and we are in the top of the sixth inning. Sid Gordon now for the Giants, 0-2 so far today. And 2-0 the count on him. 3-0 now. And Gordon gets a piece of one, 3-1. And that one squared over to the right side. Miller makes the play, second to first, 1 away. Willard Marshall now 1 out. 0-1 the count on him. 1-1 now. And there's a change-up shoulder high, 2-1 the count. That one's grounded to the right of the mound. Miller's got it, makes the play at first, 2 away. Lots of infield ground balls here so far today. Bobby Thompson now. 2-0 now is the count on Thompson. Bobby fouls one off. 2-1 now, the great Scott. 2-2. And that one is low. Full count on him. And boy, Heinzelman just misses him. That fourth ball looked pretty good, but unfortunately for him, missed. And Whitey Lockman now with a 1-0 count on him gets a ground ball to go up through the middle for a base hit. Here come the Giants with 2 outs now. Runners on first and third again for Johnny Mize. We've seen this before. 0-2 now the count on Johnny. And there's a big breaking ball, and Mize strikes out on that one, a wiffle ball pitch, one of those pitches that you look at from the stands and you think that you can hit it, and there's the major leaguer who can't hit it, and that does it for the Giants in the top of the sixth. We go to the bottom of the sixth inning now. Bill Nicholson will lead it off for the Phillies. 0-1 the pitch on it, count on him, and he gets a single right up the middle, and it's Granny Hamner time. And we're going to take a quick peek over here at Nicholson. In real life, 1 stolen base and no caught stealing, which helps to sort of explain his ratings here. Average run rating, average stolen base rating, and a poor jump rating. Having said that, looking at Granny Hamner, who has a very good that's his sacrifice rating, his bunt rating. I think we're going to do a little bit of hit and run. And so the corners are looking for a bunt, and there's a hit and run hit and run, pop fly in foul territory that's caught by Lork, and that's the first out, and so much for that. Here comes Eddie Miller now. Runner on first base, 1 out. 0-1 now the pitch on Lork, or on Miller, my apologies. 0-2 now as Miller takes another strike, and he hits one deep to center field, but Thompson's able to get it there. In case you didn't notice, here at Shibe Park is 468 feet to center field, so that's a long way to go. And Ashburn now hits a ground ball again to the shortstop, and that's that. We go to the top of the 7th inning. There's a strike to Jack Lork, 0-1 now. Breaking ball misses, 1-1. And there's one line to Del Ennis in left field, and that's the first out here in the top of the 7th. Kerr now, and he has a double hit over Del Ennis's head there in the left field, and that brings up Mickey Livingston. Let's see if they bunt with him. Now Livingston swinging away, hits a high fly ball to center field. Ashburn has it, and it's a little bit too shallow for Kerr to do anything with it, and there's 2 away, and here's Larry Jansen, and he has a ground ball again to shortstop, and Granny's got it and flips it over to first base, and that does that. Here we go to the bottom of the 7th inning now. This is an exciting game going very, very fast here. Willie Jones takes a strike, and then a ball, 1-1 the count now on Jones. Leading off the bottom of the 7th inning, 2-1 on him now. Jansen falling behind again, 3-1 now on Jones. And Larry comes back, and it's a full count again as Jones pops that one up foul. Hard foul ball again, foul down the third base line. Another foul ball on the next payoff pitch. And there's ball 4, and Larry lost him. Third walk of the game for Larry Jansen. And up comes Ken Heintzelman, and you better believe that we're going to be bunting here with Heintzelman. We're not taking him out of this game. We're going to keep him in there here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Heintzelman gives himself up, bunt over to Johnny Mice, who makes the play over to Lork. Jack covers the first base, and Jones moves up to second. And here come the Phillies. We have Del Ennis coming up with a 1-man out and runner on second base here in the bottom of the 7th. This is an exciting moment of this game. Ennis takes a ball 1-0 now at the count on him, and he lines one out to center field for a hit. And he takes advantage of somewhat sloppy play there from Marshall. I guess it was more towards right field than center field, and ends up with a double, and that easily scores Jones as the runner, and the ball game is tied just like that. And boy, I tell you, if you are the New York Giants manager, you've got to be holding your head in pain and wondering what in the world Marshall's doing out there in right field. This is an extraordinarily crucial part of this game. And he's playing that ball like it's, the very top of the first inning, like, like there's nothing to it, nobody cares. Ennis now on second base with a potential go-ahead run, and here's Andy Semenuk. 0-1 now the pitch on Semenuk, and he crushes that one to left field over Lockman's head for a home run. And just like that is 5-3 Phillies, and they've done a good job of coming back in this ball game. And Larry Jansen, who started this game off so well, only 88 pitches for him so far, has given up 5 earned runs. And my goodness, this is not what I was expecting today when we started this game. I don't know what you thought when you clicked into it. This has been a very, very interesting comeback by the Phillies, who started off with a 2-0 lead, gave up 3 runs quickly in the top of the 4th. Now with 3 runs in their own in the bottom of the 7th inning, Dick Sisler coming up now, and Sisler can always do damage. 1-0 now the pitch on Sisler, a little ground ball again to shortstop. Kerr makes the play, 2 outs now, and Bill Nicholson comes up. 1-0 the count on Bill. Another one away, 2-0 now. That one's in the dirt. Ball 3, 3-0 now the pitch, and Jansen gets a strike in there, pours it in, but misses on the next pitch, and that puts Nicholson on with 2 outs still. Granny Hamner comes up. 2 outs, 5-3 Phillies, bottom of the 7th inning. And there's a pitch in there, and who knows if that was really a strike or not. Umpire being a little bit generous here. 1-1 now the count. Granny helps out Jansen by chasing 1 and 2. And there's a curveball that goes wide, and that's 2-2 now the count. And Granny swings and misses on that one and strikes out, and that's it for the bottom of the 7th inning. And all we go to the top of the 8th, and this is another exciting game. We've had a couple of these so far, haven't we? Sid Gordon leads it off here for the Giants, 0-3 today, not having a great game. 1-1 now the count on Sid. And he takes strike 2. Ken able to pour another strike in there, 1-2 now. And Heintzelman tries to get the perfect pitch in there, but Gordon doesn't bite. 2-2 now. And Gordon hits a double, and he's able to get that one through Ennis and Ashburn into a left center field. And that puts him on second base here with nobody out in the top of the 8th inning in a 5-3 ball game. And up comes Willard Marshall. Remember, Willard Marshall is the one who had a real nonchalant time out there in right field, allowing the first of the Phillies 3 runs in the bottom of the 7th inning to score. Let's see what he can do here in the top of the 8th and if he can redeem himself. Sid Gordon now on second base, and here comes Marshall up at the plate. And the pitch from Heinzelman comes, and there's a ball. 1-0 now the count on Marshall, and there's a shot towards the gap, and that drops for a base hit, and Gordon scores. And just like that, it's 5-4, and I had a feeling the Marshall was going to do something here, and he did. Now Marshall is the runner on first base, up for Bobby Thompson. I've talked about this before in prior broadcasts, and I'll mention it again. We all know Thompson because of a single at-bat in 1951, but Bobby Thompson in his own right was an excellent power hitter as the first pitch comes into him, and is not someone to be taken lightly. Thompson with 27 home runs in real life, 1 home run so far in this replay, and he gets a ground ball past Sisler on the right side, and Nicholson's got it there, and Marshall's going for third base. The question is, do we throw to second or third? Of course we throw to third. Marshall beats the throw in there and is safe. And just like that, the Giants have another rally. I'm taking a look quickly at Heinzelman and wondering if he's seen enough or not. He's pitched somewhat fairly well for us, but he's starting to fall apart here in the top of the 8th inning. And so there is a question as to whether we should go to the bullpen or whether we should simply stick with him. There's a chance that Heinzelman's position might come up in the bottom of the 8th if we get anybody on. Nobody out, runners in first and third. We're going to bring the infield in on the corners, but look for that double play, even if it means the Giants tying that ball game. 2-0 now the pitch on Lockman, and that one's way too high, 3-0, and we may have to take Heinzelman out, and he walks Lockman, and we are going to have to take Ken out of this game. Kind of a shame. Ken only threw 103 pitches in this game by having some difficulty with his control here in a very, very crucial moment, and now we're going to see what that Phillies bullpen looks like. And we'll see what we have available to us. Now, in Diamond Mine Baseball, the way that I'm playing this, there's always a question about what you have available because you don't know what the computer manager has been up to when it's been controlling the team. The computer manager here in Diamond Mine Baseball loves to make some really odd decisions and put some weird guys into games at weird times. We're going to go with Jim Constanti. I know that we could probably go with someone like Ken Trinkle instead, but I think that this is a crucial enough moment in this game that we want to go with Constantine. We're going to bring the infield in for Johnny Mize coming up. Nobody out. Constantine is 4th outing so far. There's a little pop fly. That was a fly ball and potential play for Miller, who can't hang on to it, but it's a foul ball anyway. And there's another foul ball. 0-2 now the count on Johnny. And fouls another one back. There's a bouncer to the right side, and well, that scores the run. That bouncer came in, even with the infield playing in. That went into Miller, had no play at the plate, ends up having to make the play at first base. Now there's it's 5-5. It's a tie ball game with 1 out, and with Jack Lork coming up next, and with first base open. And we'll take a quick look and see if we want to put him on or not. Johnny Mize comes through with a little ground ball, and there's been a lot of little ground balls in this game so far. Many of these hits, though we've had 15 hits combined, many of those hits have actually been little ground balls. Lork hitting so far this season has a 103 average with a poor on-base percentage. Kerr is hitting much better. And so what we're going to do in this situation is we're going to bring the infield in, I think, but we're going to go ahead and just pitch to Jack and see what he does. And he has a little soft line drive over to Hamner for an out, and that's the second out. And it was the right decision, wasn't it? And in this crucial part of this game, now there are 2 outs with runners on second and third. The question is whether we want to actually pitch to Kerr or whether we want to pass him and go for the next guy. So let's see what we can figure out here, huh? Kerr hitting, like I said, about 250. Livingston hitting very, very poorly so far this season. It's an early season anyway, but we are going to intentionally walk Kerr. And we'll walk Kerr here to set up a force play at any base. 5-5 ball game as Johnny Mize got that little ground ball that scored the tying run for the Giants. And this is another one of these games, isn't it? We've had a lot of games like this, especially recently, if you've been paying attention. And here comes Livingston up to bat here in the top of the 8th inning. 5-5 game, bases loaded, 2 outs. Constantine comes in, and there's the ball low. Next pitch, and it's a strike, a screwball over the heart of the plate. Next one's a swing and a miss, 1-2 the count. Livingston fouls one out, and takes a ball, 2-2 now the count. And full count now as Constantine misses with that one, and Livingston strikes out swinging in the end, and that does that. And my goodness, the Phillies have, I tell you, they must have their lucky star hanging out overhead, because that could have been a huge, huge disaster. And instead, it turns into a very, very small crisis of an inning. The ball game now is tied at 5 as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. And leading off here for the Phillies will be Eddie Miller. Miller so far in this game 0 for 3. Not a lot of offense here for Philadelphia today. He smashes one towards first base, but Johnny Mize more than equal to the task, and he flips it over to Jansen for the first out. Richie Asper now, and he hits the little ground ball over to short, over to Kerr, that vacuum cleaner, 2 away. And 0-1 the count now on Willie Jones, and he hits that one deep to Thompson in center field, who runs it down, and that does that, top of the 9th inning. Constantine now, and Jansen is still in the ball game for the Giants. 1-2 now the count on him, 2-2. Jansen stays in this game despite the fact that it's tied. And he ends up with a double. He hits that one high and hard over to left field. Ennis unable to get to that one as it hits near the top of the wall. And the second double of the season for Jansen, which is a little bit surprising. And just like that, the Giants are threatening again. This is how New York has been playing so far this season. They have a team that is not recognized as a very good team. Bill Rigney now comes in to pinch run for Jansen at second base. This team's not recognized as a great team, but I tell you, they've been playing very well so far in this season. Gordon hits a little comebacker over to Constantine, who throws over to Sisler, and Rigney stays at second base, 1 out now, and that's a wasted at-bat, and up comes Willard Marshall. Remember, Willard Marshall was earlier the go to this game and then had a big base hit in the bottom of the 7th inning to start to redeem himself. Now, with 1 out in the top of the 9th, he comes up with a runner on second base in the form of Rigney, who very well just might be the go-ahead run and maybe even the winning run of this ball game. Constantine comes into him, and there's a little liner over Sisler's head, and Rigney scores easily. And what did I tell you? Marshall has completely redeemed himself here, driving in the go-ahead run. And now it is 6-5, top of the 9th inning with 1 out. And boy, that was a very, very good play by Marshall. And onwards we go to the next batter, who is, of course, Bobby Thompson. And this is where this can get really, really dangerous. I think we're going to stick with Jim for the time being, but we're keeping an eye on him. He's only gone an inning and a third. There's a little foul ball, and Semenuk unable to get to that one. That's out of play. 1-1 now the count on Thompson. That's in there for a strike, 1-2. Thompson checks his swing. He went around. That's a big, big strikeout for Jim. So Bobby Thompson unable to help add to the Giants' lead here in the top of the 9th inning. And with that, up comes the next batter, which will be Whitey Lockman. 2 outs now. Runner on first base, 6-5 Giants. And this game has been everything that I thought it would be and more. This has been very, very exciting. And now Constantine comes into Lockman. There's a foul ball straight back now to play, 0-1 now. And there's in there screwball in there for a strike, 0-2 now the count. And there's a high pop-up, and Semenuk goes back and grabs it and ends the inning, and that is the end of the top of the 9th inning. And who's coming up to pitch? It is Hank Berman. I don't know anything about Hank Berman. Let me know in the comments if you know anything about this pitcher. It's okay if we don't know anything about him, because the way that I am, I'll just go ahead and do some research on him and see what I can find out in between games. And who knows, he might end up being another blog legend. Constantine's not going to hit. We're not going to let him hit for himself. Instead, we're going to put in Eddie Whitekus, who was actually pretty well known because of the 1950 World Series. Fouls one over to the right side, 0-1 now the pitch on him. And there's strike 2. Berman not wasting any time with him. Wastes one pitch there outside, 1-2 now, 2-2. Just taking a look over at Berman, who's walked a lot more in real life than he struck out, and right on cue, he has walked the leadoff batter, and the Phillies have something going on here, don't they? Whitekus is on first base. Del Ennis coming up, nobody out, and this game is not over yet. So fasten your seatbelts because we are in the bottom of the ninth inning, 6-5 ball game. Giants with the lead. Del Ennis is coming up, and we are going to do a little bit of hit and run again. And that one goes over to center field. Well hit to Thompson in center, but unfortunately not well hit enough to do anything, and there is one away. Wycus has to return to first base. We've had a number of at-bats like that where they've gone deep, but they've gone deep to center, and center is an airport. You can't do much in center field, not here at Shibe Park. And so we have one out now with a runner on first base, and Andy Semenuk comes up, and we're just going to swing away here. That misses for a ball, 1-0 now the count. You see, the problem here with hitting and running is that you're telling your batter to swing, and Berman has poor control. 2-0 now, and Semenuk watches strike one go by. We're going to tell him to watch another one. There's ball 3. 3-1 the count now. 3-1 the pitch, and 3-2 as Semenuk takes that for a strike. And Semenuk ends up striking out. The inside pitch fools him. He's looking for the same thing I am, which is for a possible walk. And that means that there are now 2 outs here in the bottom of the ninth inning. And that was an interesting strategy. And I think, personally, I think it's a little bit risky to bring this guy Berman into a game like this. But the Giants must know what they're doing since they've only lost once so far this season. 6-1 is their record. Here comes Dick Sisler. Takes one for a ball, 1-0 now. 2-0 now the count, and Berman having a hard time again finding the plate. 3-0, and Berman missed again, and we're going to have Sisler take this one, and they called that a strike. And we'll have him take another one. There's another strike. Full count now on Dick. And that one is just high, and Sisler walks. Now there are 2 men on because of 2 walks here by Hank Berman, and that means that your tying and winning runs are now on base, and up comes Bill Nicholson. Nicholson 1 for 3 so far today, and this, as I've said, and as I've been saying the whole time, this is a very, very crucial part in this ballgame, obviously, because if you get one more out, then the game's over. Nicholson now coming out, 2 on, 2 out. Fouls one off, 0-1 now the count on him, 1-1 as that one's high. 2-1 rather, as that one is inside. Nicholson swings and misses. The count now 2-2. And that's low in the dirt. And we have another full count in this game. Here it comes. Here's the payoff pitch. And he has walked the bases loaded. And that brings up Granny Hamner, who's 0 for 4. And boy, I tell you, let's be careful. Be careful, because you never know where this ball is heading. And the way that Berman is pitching, I'm not sure that he knows where the ball is going. He has walked 3 men in this inning. There are 3 runners on base, and Hamner is going to take the first pitch. And he looks at a strike. We'll let him swing now. That's grounded over to third base. Sid Gordon makes the pickup and makes the play and makes the put out at third, and that is the end of the ball game. So, after a game that was exciting with comebacks galore, the Giants end up winning 6-5 after being down by a 2-0 deficit and then later by a 5-3 deficit. Despite some pretty poor pitching performances, especially by this guy Berman, who they had come in at the end, they're able to pull it off. I'll show you really quick the box score here. 17 hits overall in this ball game, 6-5 the final score, and we had quite a few walks. In this one, well, I guess not too bad, about 6 walks total. I'm looking at the runs, my apologies. I'm sorry, 10 walks total, 6 strikeouts, 10 walks total, 4 from Jansen, 3 from Berman for the 7 from the Giants. Heinzman pitched well, 2 walks from him, and then the 1 from Jim Constantine. And there you have it, and there's your ball game. Well, I sure hope that you enjoyed that. I enjoyed making it a lot. If you did enjoy it, please leave a comment down below, hit the like button, and subscribe for more. Check out the blog, too. You can read all about this with the write-up of this game once I am able to get around to it. Remember that the YouTube channel is a little bit ahead of the blog, probably by about 2-3 weeks or so, just so you know. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.